put pepper in your back? Where did Nancy took you to when she put pepper? In the bedroom.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
One of the parents just came to me. He said, I heard that Alami is not feeling fine. I said, yes. She said, I want daughter too is not feeling fine. I thought last week. I said, and I said, boy, you noticed something on our daughter's body. He said we should check Alami's body. I pull up his clothes by myself. So when I pull up his clothes, when we check, she gets to the section. He said, Mommy Alami, don't you know that this is the session?
So when I saw it, I asked her, what happened to you on class? Or what happened to you here? So I thought she said, Mommy, my teacher put pepper on my back. I said, your teacher put pepper on your back? She said, yes. I said, what is the name of your teacher? She said, Auntie. I said, where? Is he in the church? Is he in the house or in the school? She said, he's not in the church. He's not in the house. In my school. I said, oh, okay. I said, okay, what's the name of your teacher? She said, Auntie. I said, where did she take you to? She said, in the bedroom.
I said, goodness, why will you do this? What is it? As in, look at you. Look at the child. Why will you do this? This is idiot. Like, why on earth will you do this? Of course, the mother is still outraged, and I said, calming her down. I was just apologizing. I went to her shop, we apologized. I apologized. Grandma apologized. We didn't just go alone. She went with a letter of apology.
So I promise you, this is one of the most bizarre stories you have ever heard. So these two parents are accusing a private school in Ogun State of carrying out unauthorized incisions on the bodies of their children. These parents, whose children have similar marks on their bodies, told the Punch newspapers that the incision has now resulted in some health complications in their children. Watch.
March 2. It was on Sunday. Myself, I was in the house with him. So it was like, Mama, my side stomach is scratching me. Can you please scratch it for me? I was like, your side stomach is scratching me. Okay, let me scratch it for you. So I was scratching it. But the way I was scratching, I was like, what am I scratching? Let me see what I'm even scratching. So I on my phone torchlight. But when I saw the side stomach, I noticed there was an infection on his body, his left body. I was like, my son talks a lot. He speaks very well. And when he talks, you will hear what he's saying perfectly. I was like, Alami, what happens to you? He said, Mama, I don't know. But it's just scratching me. Before the wound can start scratching you, it must have taken like a week before you feel that something is scratching you. And then by the time you discover that that thing is scratching you, that means that wound is healing. So I was like, this is the incision. Who did it? He said, I don't know. But when I look at the incision, that incision was not straight. It was as if somebody is using a sharp object to make a mark, an incision on someone's body. But it's as if maybe he was asleep. Because when you're sleeping, you will notice, you will feel that there's a pain. And I said, okay, you know what? Let me pray for you. I don't know who did this. And since you don't know the person that did it, I prayed for him. So it was now on the 9th. It was on Sunday. I discovered that he was having temperature. The next day, which is on the 10th, I take him to a center because that's where I always use. So when I see the doctor said I should go and do tests. So when I did the test, I returned the text to the doctor. The doctor said he's having infection. They gave him injection on his left leg. Then they give me drugs. They prescribed the drugs for me to take. So when I get the drugs, I brought him home. So on the 11th, I was like, I can't take him to school. So the temperature has to come down. You have to feel better before you can go to school. So at times, I discovered he was having cough. He was vomiting. But the vomiting was like a foamy vomiting. One of the parents just came to me. He said, I heard that Alami is not feeling fine. I said, yes. She said, I want daughter too is not feeling fine. I thought last week. I said, you know, say, boy, you noticed something on our daughter's body. I said, like what? I don't understand. He said, that we should please check. I did not even say anything. I've even seen anything. He said we should check Alalmi's body. I pull up his clothes by myself. So when I pull up his clothes, when we check, she gets to the section. He said, Mommy Alalmi, don't you know that this is the section? And I said, what did you say? She now said, she off her daughter's clothes too. That one is very obvious because she's a fair lady. So it was at the back of the girl's body. And I said, I've noticed this since on March 2nd.
When I got inside the house, I pulled her dress. So immediately I pulled her dress, I noticed a scratch, a mark, which I felt it was a scratch on her spine. So it was so fresh and tiny. So I felt it was a scratch. So I went back to the store. So after like an hour, when I got to like an hour, 2 hours when I got to the store, my sister called me and she was like, oh, Kayla is running temperature. So I was like, oh, why is she running temperature? Meanwhile, a week before that day, 28th of February, we treated her for malaria. She was actually ill and we took her to the hospital and they tested her for malaria and infection. So we treated her for malaria and infection. So we still have some of her medicines and medications that she uses. So I told her that okay, there's ibuprofen at home, so please just use it for her. She said okay. So immediately after like 40 minutes, 1 hour there, I locked my store and I went home. So I saw her. She was not active. She's not the same killer. She used to be active and all of that. So I was even trying to talk to her. She was just staring at me, looking at me. She was not active at all. Actually, that Friday night stroke Saturday night, she was really hot.
Her temperature was hot, but we were like, okay, she'll be fine. She played a little and she was like, we're going to church tomorrow. Yes, we already even packed the dress for church on Sunday. We were supposed to go. Then by 3 a.m., when we checked that she was pretty hot, coughing, vomiting, then we rushed her to the hospital 3 a.m., then came back around 5:30 a.m. They stabilized her and they're like, okay, it's medications, yes, infection of the lungs.
Her breathing is low already, that she had shortness of breath, that they had to stabilize her with oxygen. So on Wednesday, while we were in the hospital, I saw that same scratch, that same mark that I felt it was a scratch. I saw it still because she was still fighting for her health. So she was just saying, Mommy, my teacher. So she said it like 3 times and she stopped talking. So I didn't put too much pressure to ask her, what are you trying to say? So I just let it go. Just ignore. So Friday afternoon stroke evening, that was when they discharged us. And we came back home. It took like 4 to 5 drips already. So when I was dressing up for her, so I saw the mark again. So at this point, the marks already changed color. So I saw the mark and I was like, I was even trying to clean it. Like, is it that she actually is a pencil draw or something? So I saw it. I said, so on that Monday, so when I saw it, I asked her, what happened to you? What happened to you here? So I thought she said, Mommy, my teacher put pepper on my back. I said, your teacher put pepper on your back? She said, yes. Like, I asked her again, I said, what happened to you? She said, my teacher put pepper on my back. I said, okay, touch the place. So she pulled her dress and touched that same spot. I said, what is the name of your teacher? She said, Auntie. I said, where? Is he in the church? Is he in the house or in the school? She said, he's not in the church. He's not in the house. In my school. I said, oh, okay. I said, okay, what's the name of your teacher? She said, Auntie. I said, where did she take you to? She said, in the bedroom. At that point, and because I know her, she's actually 2 years and 9 months, but trust me, she's a very smart girl. I asked her, is it Mrs. Chinyere? She said no, because I really don't know the names of all the staff there. So I mentioned just few, like 3 of them that I know their name, Miss Chinyere, Miss Blessing, and Miss Annabelle. Then the proprietor, Mrs. Olumu. So I asked her, is it Mrs. Olumu? She said no. I said, is it Miss Chinyere? She said no. I said, is it Miss Annabelle? She said no. I said, is it Miss Blessing? She said yes. And that was the same person that slapped her December.
They went to the school. I spoke with Mrs. Oluwumi for almost 5 to 10 minutes. All I could pick from that conversation was she was extremely defensive. No empathy, no sympathy, nothing at all. All she was saying is that nothing like that can ever happen in our school. Like, we're not saying it happened in your school right now. We just want you to look into it. Show concern that let's take it a step further.
My son goes to lesson. Yes, he goes to Arabic lesson too. The girl's mom is a Christian.
They both attend the same place, which is school. Why don't we start from there? If we're able to see the footage and we see that 28, 27, 26 backwards, nothing happened, there was no 10 minutes away from the class, just like Kayla is saying in the bathroom, my teacher, then we can look elsewhere. At that point, we reported to Wawa police station.
Worried by these strange developments, the two mothers took their concerns to the school, and this is how the school responded.
The incision did not take place in the school. So, but seeing all of them coming at once, I was surprised. That was my first reaction. I saw them from my office and I got up and went towards the door. They came in, and the very first thing was that the child said, "Auntie," and I'm like, the same way I'm looking at you, like, "Auntie? Number one, we don't use auntie. That's the way I normally will talk. Number one, we don't use auntie in this school." I said, everybody calls every teacher by their name, and there and there. So while they were still at it, I said, okay, let's assume the 2.5 is not talking. I know very well how Alamin speaks. And I called him also. Alamin, what happened? He answered. He said he does not know. And the mother now reiterated that he would not like to answer, that he's afraid. I'm like, why are they afraid? Why are they afraid? These are children that have been used to me.
But there are allegations the CCTV cameras in the school were deliberately turned off to cover up the facts.
As at that day in my estate, there were problems of electricity. You can see all the emojis of residents showing that we have an unusual problem in our estate as at that. So now we have seen 26, 27 is still there. Good evening at Matagba. What is happening again? There is light everywhere in Arepo and we don't have light at Babarinde. This is this street. So you will see. Now, in fact, we are very sure about Babarinde being in total blackout. Please help us. 28th. Can you see that? This is 7 o'clock. If you look at this, you will see people saying, Matagba, thank you. Did this and that and that. Thanks, Matagba, for the restoration of light in Babarinde. I hope that our other streets in the estate will also be resolved. That's how people call him out. He was the one that got the electrician, the NEPA people that day to come around and fix Bolade Babarinde's issues. So the little time that we didn't have light was because we've had power outage since 26th, 27th, 28th. So we will only rely on solar. We had to go to the extra mile of getting the CCTV event log. This event log is from the 25th to 28th of February. When you look at this, you see what I've highlighted. Did anybody start recording? Yes. Did anybody stop? You will see from the event log. Expired video, picture, you will see. So this is it. We have 128 logs. All you will see is start recording. Experts in this can confirm this. If you look through, you will never see anywhere where recording was stopped to show that nobody tampered with the CCTV footage.
And on the allegation, the school has an history of abusing children. The school director defended the school this way.
I was hearing persistent, loud noise from, I thought the parent was on the call. So I got up to find out what was happening. Then I'm like, oh, I'm not going to agree. I'm like, what happened? The teacher was on duty that day. And the mother said, she slapped my daughter. I said, Then I looked at the child, I saw the mark. And the teacher said, I said, what happened? The teacher said, oh, that she didn't slap. I said, please, come off this. They know when I'm dealing with them. Come off this. Don't even tell that to me. She was still trying to it didn't happen. I said, no, right there outside. Not minding whoever, because that's me when it comes to the truth. You don't just twist me this and that. She was like, oh, can we go inside? I said, no, speak right here. The mom can testify to it. Speak right here and tell me what happened. And she said, oh, she indeed hit. I said, Goodness. Goodness, why will you do this? What is it? As in, look at you. Look at the child. Why will you do this? This is idiot. Like, why on earth will you do this? Of course, the mother is still outraged. And I like calming her down. I was just apologizing. Like, I'm sorry about this. Like, I'm sorry. This is hurting. What I'm saying. So she called the husband and all of that. The husband said, oh, tomorrow they are coming. But right same day, before I closed, I called the same teacher, drove her to the woman, Alami's grandma, that referred this woman to apologize. We went to her shop, we apologized. I apologized, grandma, Alami's grandma apologized. We didn't just go alone. She went with a letter of apology. As at the end of the cycle, all my teachers were made to write a letter of undertaking. I wouldn't go and conspire and make this kind of incident happen to the same family. I mean, I don't see how, in my right senses, I will be condoning that.
But she didn't stop there. She also used the occasion to make her own allegations.
Another aunt of Alamin, named Toyin, when the incident in February happened, it was one of the repeated things that the mother was saying, that Kela was saying, beat auntie. That was to Toyin. Those ones that are friends to the mom. Toyin is a friend. She's called bestie of Kela's mom. A friend to Kela's mom and also Yakudi. And that is Alamin's aunt. So whatever it is, however they mingle, it is in unraveling this thing we will understand. Those are the loopholes that I have been raising that seem to be like, come on, leave that one. We are not related. We don't know ourselves. No, these are. So sometimes you might not pick Kela and drop Kela at Alamin's place, but Kela could be in the company of Toyin or Yakudi. Are you with me? Whatever. Who would you know?
Interestingly, the chairman of the Parents Teachers Association of the school seems to agree with her.
When we heard of this allegation, this incident, we were disheartened. I spoke with the little girl's father, because you know the children, there's a boy and a girl, right? Now the girl's father, I called him and asked him, sympathized with him first, and I now asked him, I said, when did you discover this incision? And he said it was the mother that found out. Okay, when? He said about 2 weeks. And I asked him, I said, you as a father, when did you find out? He said 4 days ago. So that put a red flag, you know. But as PTA, we cannot sit on the side of the parents, neither are we going to back up the school. We just need to know, because our children attend the school, like I said. So if it's actually from the school, we'll just know what steps to take. And if it's not from the school, I mean, the parents that are carrying the allegations should have to look elsewhere and probably tender apologies to the school. I have great faith, great trust in this school. These same children, just like you've heard from other parents, they are not with their mothers 24 hours. They are not with their mothers 24 hours. And why are they not mentioning those openings, those loopholes to the reporters, to everyone, so that they can look into this matter? I can tell you for a fact that we are interested in the end of this matter. We want to know who actually did it. It's important for us to have a closure. The boy, 5-year-old, the guy can talk. I spoke with him. And I mean, what's up? You know, I was like, yeah, I know. I'm like, wow, this guy can talk. Why won't this boy know what happened? Part of the news that is flying around is that the boy told the parents that it was done while he was sleeping. That's one question that you should ask for people to respond to. Do they sleep in school? A boy of that age, anything done to him, he knows. If he's not saying anything, it's because probably he knows the person and is being told to keep quiet.
But the Ogun State government isn't going to keep quiet. The state's Ministry of Education has ordered the closure of the school, pending the outcome of investigations into the allegations. And that's a development this parent considers insensitive.
I have one biological child and I take care of 3 children in total, 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years old. I came to pick up my kids from school, and that was about almost 2 p.m. and they were locked outside. 4 years old, 2 years old, locked outside under the sun. No provision was made. The same government that is supposed to be protecting us is the same government that is bullying our children, bullying us, and causing our children to, I'm sure those children were traumatized yesterday. So bringing trauma to the children that they are supposed to be safeguarding and that they are supposed to be taken care of. Me, I want to ask question. Who said this school should be locked up? And who said that children that are supposed to close by 5 p.m. be sent out of the school before 2 p.m.? Who are the government that should take care of us? Why are they bullying us? Why are they pressing our neck?
But while the allegations and counter-allegations continue,
we believe that it happened in the school. She checked her body. We want to know who did what to kill her, because she has never mixed her words. She's 2 years, 9 months. She kept on saying, my teacher put pepper on my back. My teacher took me to the bathroom. My teacher asked me to bend down. My teacher put pepper on my back. And she's specific about the teacher that did this.
The investigating officers took her statements, asked questions, probed, and at a point in the evening, they came around past 12. At a point in the evening, they asked me to just get into the car. They're coming to my school. And they went, and I went with them. They were taking pictures of all the cameras, to the point that they saw that there is camera under the stairs. Everywhere, no hidden place. So, of course, they are carrying out their investigations. We went all together to the DPO's office. I was seated. My teacher was seated. The lawyer was seated. Kayla's dad and mom was seated. The 2 investigating officers were seated. Of course, I've never been in that kind of environment to know how it happens. They read out what and said. Having done all the investigations, they found out that there were no evidences to suggest that it happened in the school, and that there are loopholes from their end with respect to they not reporting as and when the incision was seen.
These questions will continue to linger until the court rules on this matter. Why did it take these parents an awful long period of time before reporting these strange incisions? And are there more children in this school with these strange and mysterious incisions? And was it a coincidence that the CCTV cameras were inactive during the period the incisions were allegedly inscribed on the bodies of the children?
Who put paper in your bag? Where did Nancy took you to when she put paper?
In the bedroom.
In the bedroom?
Yes.
Are you sure?